Pennsylvania. You can see the video here. There were loud noises. It's unclear exactly what happened, but the Secret Service then rushed onto the stage, and you can
So many of you probably heard by now what has happened. Trump was giving a speech and there were loud noises reported. He grabbed his ear as he ducked to the ground, and then he was rushed off the stage. It looks like there was some a RED substance on his face as he was leaving the stage and rushed off the stage, and then he got into they put him into a black SUV and drove away very quickly. We have the full video. We're going to jump right into it, and then we'll talk about it.
On the air with breaking news right now. We're getting word that former President Donald Trump, during a rally in Pennsylvania, you can see the video here. There were loud noises. It's unclear exactly what happened, but the Secret Service then rushed onto the stage, and you can see them right there, escorting the former president off the stage. Following this moment, there was some screams, some chaos in the crowd. Let's go ahead and bring in our Rachel Scott, who was there at this campaign event, and she's still on the ground right now. Rachel, what did you see?
Guys, this is insane. This is absolutely insane what has happened. You know, I guess we all were very concerned that there could have been a situation happening in the past, and Tucker Carlson absolutely called it. He said, I think it was a few months ago, he said that he was worried that something like this was going to happen, and now it's unbelievable. Like this is everything. This changes everything. For example, we used to be able to get very close to Trump. If I was to meet him, I would be able to go and give him a hug or whatever, because that's just how it's always been. But now no one's going to be able to get close to him anymore, hands down. Even his closest supporters, it's going to be serious. This is the first time since in 40 years almost. This is the first time in 40 years that something like this has happened. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say. This likens back to when Reagan was in office, and there was an event back in the 1980s with Reagan, and something happened very similar to this, and thankfully Reagan was all right, but it's unbelievable. So it's been actually over 40 years. I was born in 83. I'll be 41 in a few months, and so it's actually been the last time something like this happened was over 40 years ago. Almost half a century ago. And here we are, fast forward more than 4 decades, and this happened. So this is definitely going to be in the history books. So I'll read this for you guys. Former President Donald Trump was rushed off stage by Secret Service agents during a disturbance, they're calling it a disturbance, at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania on Saturday. Trump began his speech at about 6 p.m. and was only shortly into his speech when a disturbance caused Secret Service to swarm the former president. He was then led off the stage quickly, pumping his fist. There appeared to be RED, a RED substance on his right ear as he was being taken off the stage. And then heavily ARMED security personnel got on stage after he was let off. So that's what ended up happening. That's the situation. As far as we know, he's okay overall, and he's being protected. He's more than likely receiving medical attention right now, and knowing him, we'll likely hear from him very soon. I'm sure he's gonna address the nation very soon and explain and will be briefed on what's happened. It's possible that Biden will talk about it, but at this point, it's hard to really know. Realistically, you would think that Biden would have to come forward and speak about I'd speak about the situation, but I don't know. It's bad. Biden's performance on July 11th, he was giving a press briefing he held a press briefing at the NATO summit in Washington on July 11th, and his performance was he was supposed to like make people feel better, like, okay, well, this is my press briefing after the debate that people said was not very good, and his he made some mistakes.
Mr. President, your political future has hung over the NATO summit a little bit this week. Speaker Pelosi made a point of suggesting that your decision on whether to stay in the race was still open. George Clooney and a handful of lawmakers have called on you to step aside. Reuters is reporting tonight that UAW leadership is concerned about your ability to win.
UAW just endorsed me, but go ahead.
Thank you. My question for you is, how are you incorporating these developments into your decision to stay? And separately, what concerns do you have about Vice President Harris's ability to beat Donald Trump if she were at the top of the ticket?
Look, I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president until I think she was not qualified to be president. So let's start there. Number one. The fact is that the consideration is that I think I'm the most qualified person to run for president. I beat him once, and I will beat him again. Secondly, the idea, I served in the Senate a long time. The idea that senators and congressmen running for office worry about the ticket is not unusual. And I might add, there are at least 5 presidents running or incumbent presidents who had lower numbers than I have now, later in the campaign. So there's a long way to go in this campaign. And so I'm just going to keep moving. And because, look, I got more work to do. We've got more work to finish.
I don't know, guys. I really don't know. This whole thing is just absolutely unbelievable. It's definitely unbelievable. I mean, we saw how Biden performed at the debate. It was not impressive.
Do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America. Billionaires in America. And what's happening? They're in a situation where they, in fact, pay 8.2% in taxes. If they just paid 24%, 25%, either one of those numbers, they'd raise $500 billion, I should say, in a 10-year period. We'd be able to wipe out his debt. We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death, and he's destroying Medicare.
Yeah. So that's what we saw at the debate, and it's obvious a lot of people were not pleased with it. And now this situation has occurred with President Trump. There's a lot of support being rallied around him on social media. They say that evidently he is okay, but I don't know. They say okay, but he would have to be getting treatment right now. They'd have to be treating him right now. But guys, this is we all knew that something like this, the potential of something like this, was there, and we knew the potential was there. And now we're all facing that situation. We are facing that reality. And, it's something that we have to, as adults, we have to be aware of. This is going to be a very, very interesting election. A very, very interesting election. We're going to all have to basically be alert at all times and pay attention to what's going on around us, because it's not going to slow down. This whole event It's 100% not going to slow down. If anything, it's only going to speed up. You know, that's the simple truth, guys. Don't forget to check out my subscribe to my newsletter for my personal thoughts and insights. It's a very intimate thing where we can reach and we can talk to one another. Newsletter is like it's absolutely incredible. You can see that I'm kind of flustered over the whole situation that happened. It just caught me off guard. I'm just beyond shocked. And follow me over on Locals. We can talk more personally on Locals, without having to worry about being without being CENSORED. So you can head over to the Angry Guy community on Locals. It's free to join. And it's angrygalaxy.com. If you want to check that out, it's linked in the description of the video. What do you think regarding all of this, guys? Trump was rushed off stage. You all saw what happened. Y'all know what happened. Let me know what you guys think, and we'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA. Men walking away. And cheers.